Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another episode of Behind the Grind with your one and only host, Simon Romero.
Perfect. So, welcome back, amigos. Today we have a familiar face on the program, my man Jamel. What's going on in the life of the WBO Junior Lightweight Champion of the World?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Can't complain. Just trying to make the most of things. Just staying busy at home, man.
Of course. So before we did this interview, I noticed that you aren't quite verified on TikTok yet. What's going on with that?
I don't know. I know you can get verified on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, I'm about to look into that. But I just started playing. I just started playing with it today again after
Yeah, I saw
a
that.
couple of years. But yeah.
What was that whole last TikTok about? The spraying of the Febreze looking thing and all that?
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
I had a good laugh with that one, so you got me there. Was this whole quarantine thing the reason behind starting this whole TikTok account back up again?
I guess because, like I said, just the past time, people just trying to have fun again and, just stay busy and keep them going crazy. So, every once in a while, like I said, I do podcasts, interviews, TikTok, spend time with the kids and the so I'm trying.
Trying to survive while we can, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll have to duet to TikTok sometime, maybe.
Yeah, we got to do something.
Yeah. So we got to verify Jamel. We have to start a whole hashtag and everything.
Oh yeah, I gotta get verified. I gotta figure out who I need to contact for that one, but I gotta get verified on there too. Eventually.
All right, so I know something caught my eye from the last time we've had an interview. If you can guess, then tell me what it is.
Ooh, from the last time we interviewed?
It was a while ago, but
I know, so I'm like, yeah.
All right, it's something to do with the clothing.
Clothing.
On your end.
On my end?
Yes.
I'm lost now, man.
The shirt, man.
This shirt right here?
Exactly, the same exact shirt.
Oh, shoot.
We had you on last time. I was looking back at the old interview.
I love my Marvel characters, man. That's a crazy coincidence, though.
Yeah, who would be your favorite Marvel character if you had to choose one?
If I had to choose one, it had to either between Wolverine and Spider-Man. Those are my two top.
I see. And why is that?
Like I said, growing up in the 90s, they had X-Men the animated series as well as Spider-Man animated series, going on around the same time. Matter of fact, so I used to always, stay tuned in. But I was always I think I was more big on X-Men at the time as well.
Okay, so like I said, it's actually been a while since we've had you on here. But what has changed other than this whole Rona thing going on?
Not much has changed really. Still the same guy. Just like I said. Matter of fact, I started managing fighters, so that's the thing I'm doing right now. I'm more concerned right now with my fighters getting busy because my career is pretty much taken care of, but the guys that are starting out, they're not making the same income as I'm making now. So my main concern is making sure that my fighters get active as soon as things go back to normal. So I've been working a lot on that, and I also work with musicians. Ray Moore and my producer Carly.
Okay.
Carly made it. You can find them on Instagram. You can find them both on Instagram. Ray Moore and Carly made it. But yeah, I just like I said, I've been trying to stay busy doing a lot of different things, man, other than focusing on my own career.
Of course, yeah. Not a lot of boxers or fighters are doing that right now. So
not a lot of. It's rare to see even an active world champion, managing fighters and doing other things. But like I said, I feel like, as long as if I'm in the position where I'm at to give back, why not help as much as I possibly can. So that's what I'm doing.
So if we talk about promoters here, I don't know if you've seen Mr. Eddie Hearn's recent tweet about making a new boxing game.
I hope it's true. We need it. Like I mean, growing up, I played all the boxing games. I was always say, man, one day, I have my own character in the game. Besides trying to create a character, I could have a character in the game, And it's like we haven't had a boxing game since over and over, just about a decade now,
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a woo. So I'm hoping, especially I hope EA can do it all, a new fight night. So we'll see. Hopefully, Eddie's on. He seems like he wants to do it, so hopefully he's on to something.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Could we see you actually purchasing that game?
Most definitely, especially if I'm in it. Oh yeah, I'm definitely.
Of course.
I'm buying copies of it. I'm passing out.
All right.
Definitely, I'll have it in my collection.
Awesome. So last time we talked, like I've said a couple times, you were getting ready for Lamont Roach Jr. If we go back to fighting, who was next in line for that WBO title?
Right now we're in talks of fighting Carl Frampton from Belfast, Northern Ireland. So that's the next big thing. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we can get this done as soon as possible. In terms of we already basically kind of got a handshake agreement, but like I said, since the Corona thing hit, nothing, we couldn't get things finalized. But hopefully, in another month or so, we can start, talking about the fight again and, really getting things down on paper.
So, in your personal opinion, how big of a step up do you believe that is for you?
Probably,
or if it even is?
No, it's probably the biggest part of my career, mainly because of all the accolades Frampton has under his wing. He's a 2-weight division champion. He's been in a lot of good fights. But I'm definitely, I'm hungry and motivated for it. I'm just ready to get back into the gym mainly. But hopefully I can get that fight. And it's actually one of the most anticipated fights of the year. So people have been asking about the fight. So hopefully we can get that done so we don't disappoint.
Of course. And we're not quite there yet. And Netflix is becoming something big. Have you seen this new Tiger King series?
Oh, I watched the whole thing already, man. Yeah, it was crazy, man. That, I think people are watching that, of course, and Ozark. So those have been the top two, shows going on Netflix. But, yeah, definitely been doing a lot of Netflixing past few weeks. I mean, we got plenty of time, so I'm going to just catch up on everything that's being talked about.
For sure. So do you think Carole Baskin killed her husband?
I don't know what Carole Baskin did, but she just something about her looks suspicious. She was just
suspicious, yeah.
Non-echelon about the topic. If I was me and I was being accused of killing my spouse, I'd probably a lot more defensive. But she's just so non-echelon about every time she speaks on it. So I don't know. Then the family, the husband's family doesn't like her as it is, and we already know how Joe feels. So I don't know.
Don't even gotta go there.
She's too passive.
Exactly. So as we get to the end of this thing, I want to give you the opportunity to thank anyone you believe is necessary. The stage is all yours.
I just want to thank my partner JC out of LA. Like I said, we're together. We're managing musicians and fighters under First to Fight management. So that's our thing. So I gotta give props to my partner JC out there. I also just want to thank everyone out there for just being patient and still motivated and hungry to see the fight. Also, those who keep tuning in to see how I'm doing. But like I said, anybody wants to reach out to me, you can find me at Jamel Herring, Instagram, Twitter. I'm always available. As you know, personally, I'm always available, man. But pretty much about it, man. Like I said, but more importantly, everybody just stay safe and continue to do the right thing.
Appreciate it. Thank you for joining on once again. And we got to make sure we verify you on TikTok.
Yeah, you got to get verified. Somebody need to contact TikTok. We got to get my account verified because there'll be a lot of videos.
All right. Awesome. Welcome back, amigos. And
Today
we'll be
we are
catching up soon,
bringing you
hopefully.
an interview
Okay, bro.
with
Appreciate you, bro.
9-1
All right, stay safe
UFC
out there.
signee, the Lone Wolf, Micheal Trizano. How's it going, my friend?
Going good, man. Could be better during these circumstances, but I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you for asking. What have you been able to do to pass the time lately?
I mean, just training on my own, running, biking. That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't really have much available at my place, so I got to make do with what I got.
Mm-hmm. So when you're able to train full action and full force, are you usually running during your camps?
Yeah, run, bike, swim, do everything.
So everything's pretty much normal except for the physical contact part and stuff like that?
Yeah, can't spar or do anything like that. Just don't got anybody to work with.
No, I know it must be difficult not being able to do that, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult do you find that happening?
I mean, I could probably call some people that I've been around already, and I could train with them. So, I mean, it's probably not hard. Let's just say a 5 out of 10.
All right, gotta go right in the middle there. Perfect. All right, so far, the only people who have fights thus far are those who are fighting May 9th. Has there been any talks of you getting in there anytime soon?
As of now, no. I mean, I'm eyeing a return possibly late May, early June. So we'll see what happens. You know, I'm coming off a long layoff from injury. I had surgery, and so I was recovering. I was getting ready to get a fight going, but all this quarantine happened and stuff, and everything shut down. So it kind of slowed things up. You know, it's tough, but nothing I could do. It's not in my hands, so I can't really stress about it.
Yeah, so my next question was, I was going to ask you, we missed you inside the cage. We haven't seen you for a while. So what happened with that injury?
I had a knee injury, so I had a knee injury for a while, actually. I fought a few times with it, and got to a point where it was kind of limited me to what I could do in training. I was only training at like 50%. So it was a necessary surgery to get done, and now that it's over with and I'm ready to get back in there, man, I miss it. I miss the violence.
Yeah. Yeah, so how's it doing right now? Is it back to 100% yet?
Yeah, man, I feel great. I just want to get back to training.
Yeah, of course. So now I know your nickname is the Lone Wolf, but you also train out of Tiger Schmollman's, if I'm correct.
Yes,
if you had to pick an animal, let's say, would you pick a tiger or a wolf?
nah, wolf. Wolf's my favorite animal, man.
I see. And where did that nickname originally come from?
Well, I got it as you well know. I got a big family. I got a lot of following, so I'm not alone. But when you're in the cage, you're all alone. It's just you and your opponent. So you got to do anything to survive, and that's what a lone wolf's got to do. Got to adapt to the situation. So got to survive. That's what I do.
Of course. So I'm not sure if you're kind of a hip hop fan, let's say.
Not too much.
Man, I struck out. I asked Mr. Rivera yesterday, and Jimmie, and he said he's heard of the song, but he had to practice his dance. But I was asked if you've heard of the song Toosie Slide.
Never heard of it.
No, not at all.
None.
Oh, man. I'm like 1 for 9. I'm struck out so many times. That's all right, though.
All I listen to is like country and like rock. That's it, man.
Okay, it seems like a New Jersey thing, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just, I'm not a hip hop fan, that's for sure.
Well, since you're not a hip hop fan, you seem to be a baseball fan. When sports are on, who can we see you cheering on from the stands?
Oh, Yankees, man. Die-hard Yankee fan.
All the way?
All the way. 100%.
Was that, were you a baseball player growing up?
No, I played baseball, yeah. I played like literally everything. I was an athlete, so I played baseball, lacrosse, football, you name it. I did it.
Okay. No, I guess you said you were an athlete growing up, but what was the childhood like in the life of Micheal Trizano?
Normal childhood, I guess you could say, you know.
Okay.
Great parents. Had a brother. Grew up in a nice area. Can't complain.
Of course.
Not the usual fighter, I guess. I just like fighting, and I like challenging myself. So didn't have a rough upbringing or anything like that. Just I like to test my body, test my mind, and fighting is just a perfect fit. It's the one thing that really clicked for me.
Okay, so I've seen a couple posts about that VO2 max training. Not everyone's familiar with that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much, you know, I'm not too positive on like the science aspect of it, but what I do know is that like it tests like how your body takes in oxygen at certain levels of like intensity while you're working out and exercising. So, I mean, at the time I did it, I think my body stopped taking in oxygen. I don't even know if I'm explaining this right, to be honest. I just did it so my strength and conditioning coach can like program my workouts and stuff and see where I'm at. You know? But I think I stopped like taking in oxygen at the time I did it. Was like my heart rate was at like 195 beats per minute or something like that. So it was high. Yeah, I don't.
But so I know you. Keep going.
A cool test.
Yeah, I thought about trying that a couple times, but not many places offer that around here. But sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of tests I did when I was at the PI. I went there just to do a whole bunch of different tests on the body just to get ready to fight, and then everything shut down. So.
Yeah. What other training did you do when you were down there?
I did some MMA training at Syndicate MMA. Some strength training at the PI. Did some PT. Just utilize the facility.
So as we get to the end of this thing, I know you mentioned you had a big family. How did your mother impact your career in MMA?
I don't even know if she really was. She wasn't really happy about it, and but well, I mean, what mom wants to see their kid getting punched and kicked? But
exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, she supports me 100%. My father supports me 100%. My family's always there, no matter what. No matter where I fight anywhere in the world, they'll all be there. So, just the support that they have for me is motivation in itself. So I just want them to be proud, and I know they're proud regardless. So that's my motivation right there.
Of course. So one of the last questions I have you heard of this Tiger King series on Netflix?
Haven't even watched it.
Really? That's the first time I've heard that one.
I know everybody's watching. You know what? When I see everybody's wanting to do something, I always go the opposite way. I don't like. I don't like following the crowd.
Interesting.
I don't know. It doesn't. So I just didn't watch it.
Have you seemed to check out any episodes on Netflix of any other show?
Well, I mean, I've been watching everything, man. I mean, I started watching. I rewatched Game of Thrones. That's not on Netflix, but I rewatched that for the third time. I watched all 9 Star Wars in a row. I watched all the Lord of the Rings. I'm in the process of rewatching all the Marvel movies in order.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to do? After working out a couple times throughout the day, I get home and I relax and just binge watch things.
I wish I could say the same, but I gotta do this online school stuff.
How old are you?
15.
Oh, you're 15.
High school. Yeah.
Not for me. Been done with that for a while.
Lucky. All right. So I want to give you the opportunity to thank anyone as we come to the end of this interview. The stage is all yours.
Yeah, I mean, I want to just thank my family, most importantly. Everybody's always supporting me, especially been on this long layoff for a while. It's been tough, but I'm excited to get back into it. I want to thank my sponsors, NutriBio, for hooking me up with some supplements and especially vitamins and stuff so I can stay healthy. And I want to thank my team, Tiger Showmans, for at least giving me a place where I can train, even though there's no one here. And I want to thank my management, Cali Sports and Entertainment, for being with me this whole time and helping me out. And that's pretty much it.
Perfect. So Tiger Showmans, it's like a karate-based gym, correct?
Yeah, we originated in karate, but now we're an MMA gym, man. We teach kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, you name it, we teach it.
All right, I was interested in that because it said listed as the karate gym, and then I saw like you, Jimmie Rivera, all those guys were training down there. So interesting.
Yeah. We're not just karate. We do
everything. I thought so. All right, so thank you for your time, and Micheal the Lone Wolf Trizano, appreciate you for coming on, my friend.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
All right, peace out.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay.
All right, so Miss Frey, how are you today?
I'm not doing bad. Today was kind of a long, boring day. They're kind of some days we're like, we get up super early, we're productive, we get a bunch of stuff done, and then some days we wake up and it's just kind of a day that drags on.
Okay. Yeah, what's it like down in Texas with the whole quarantine and everything?
We're still under the shelter in place. And I think this Friday they're going to start opening some things to like 25% capacity, like some restaurants and such.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm still staying home. I'm no.
Yeah.
So.
Don't want to risk it. Especially since you won the belt back in February, you're now crowned the Invicta Atomweight champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, I had to relinquish the belt because I missed weight.
Okay. No worries. So, what was it actually like when you won the belt, though? I'm sure it was not a bad feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long road to get there, and so, it felt incredible to finally have, all of your work kind of justified.
Of course. But if we turn to the current situation, what has Invicta been doing, or Invicta, what have your quarantine hobbies been like?
Just doing a bunch. I run with my dogs almost every day. We've been doing some hiking. We work out, kind of in our driveway with what we have, but it's been pretty chill, just staying home.
How have you been able to train, like you said, in your driveway, like hitting pads?
Yeah, we've
How's
got
it changed?
We've got some mats, and of course we have all the pads, and we have heavy bags and that sort of thing. I just don't have other bodies to work with, but we do what we can.
Now, has there been any talks of you getting back in there anytime soon?
I haven't heard anything from Invicta. I'm trying to, stay in relatively good shape just in case, they need me relatively short notice, that sort of thing. So.
Yeah. So, if we talk about how you began in MMA, how did that whole thing start?
It was just a way to stay in shape. There was an MMA program at one of the gyms that I was going to, and I started doing it just to get in shape.
Okay, and what was your family's reaction like when you actually continued with it?
I don't have a huge family, and I don't stay in close contact with my mom. My father's passed away, so there wasn't really a sounding board that I had to bounce that off of.
Okay, and now I know your career is far from over, but at the end of the day, what do you actually want to be remembered for?
I just want to be remembered as a good fighter. I didn't have just huge dreams going into this. It just kind of evolves every day that I'm there. But I just want to be able to fight to the best of my ability and be remembered for doing so.
Of course. So we got a couple questions left. If we talk about the UFC, can we get your picks on Hannah Cipher versus Mackenzie Dern?
I'm probably leaning towards Mackenzie Dern. I don't think that that's the best matchup for Hannah. I haven't seen her fight just too many times. The only time I had ever seen her fight was in her last fight when she lost against Angela Hill. And for her being a brown belt, I wasn't just super impressed with what she was able to do on the ground. And we all know that Mackenzie Dern is leaps and bounds ahead of where Angela Hill is.
And if let's say you were offered a fight against one of the two, which matchup would you pick most?
It's kind of a tough one. I don't know. Obviously the Mackenzie Dern fight would get probably better exposure. I think Hannah previously fought at Atomweight, so I think we'd be probably closer in size. So it would be a toss up. It would just really depend on what I'm aiming to do. And what kind of trajectory I'm looking at for the future of my career.
And the last pick, the main event, Gaethje versus Ferguson. I know it's been canceled a couple times, but if it does happen this time, who would you be siding with?
I don't know. I haven't really given it just a ton of thought. I actually, I'm not sure I agree with the fights going forward. I know that fighters out there want to fight. People need to feed their families, that sort of thing. I'm not sure I agree with the fights going forward right now. I'm not sure if I feel like it's safe yet. And, I'm a healthcare worker as well. And so, it just seems a little rushed. And so I'm not sure if it's safe and in everybody's best interest to be moving forward the fights just yet.
Yeah, so what's the whole, first of all, we appreciate you for being a healthcare worker, but what's it like being out there and being a fighter at the same time?
I haven't just worked too much. The census at the hospitals are way down. Obviously people aren't really getting out. People aren't really going to the hospital unless it's an emergency. And for the most part, the hospitals are full of coronavirus patients. So anything that's not directly related to that, like we have coronavirus floors and our ERs super busy, but pretty much everything else is really slowed down. And so I actually hadn't worked in a couple of weeks, and Sunday was the first time I'd worked in a while, just to fill in for somebody. But like elective surgeries, elective procedures have all been shut down. So when I went in Sunday, it was pretty quiet, just kind of the bare bones working.
Mm-hmm. So if you were offered to pick one person in the world to play you in a movie, who would that be and why? It's a tough one, I know, but
yeah, I wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know where to go with that one.
All right, I threw you off guard there. See what I did?
Yeah, you did, for sure.
All right, so last one I have for you. Have you seen this whole Tiger King movie or series?
Yeah, we watched it. It was a train wreck, for sure.
What'd you think of it?
I think Carol Baskin's fed her husband to a tiger, for sure.
That's all I needed to hear.
That's all that matters. That's all anybody ever wants to know.
Yeah. All right. And personally, are you more of a cat or a dog person?
Dog. Do
you have one of the dogs by your side?
Yeah, I've got one snoozing over here.
There he is. Nice. All right. So I'm pretty sure that's all I have for you today. So it was nice for you to come on. And before I let you go, I'll give you the opportunity to say anything you would like.
Wash your hands and be safe out there.
How's everything going with your training and all that? All right. So like I said, appreciate you for coming on, and we'll be in touch.
It's more just
right,
lifting
thanks.
and running. No one's training. Okay. And just getting back from the injury I had with my neck. So it's kind of hard with the whole quarantine and no one's really around training. I've asked. Sorry about that. I've asked a couple. I asked my manager because he manages a couple people like Tony and Jeremy Stevens and talks to Faber a lot. And not a lot of people are training. I mean, Tony always trains on his own, so it's not different. It's not like it's a norm for him, but other people they're not used to it.
Of course. Yeah. So I just got a couple questions for you today, keeping it a little bit simple. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Welcome back, amigos. Today we have a very special guest joining us all the way from New Jersey for the very first time. Mr. Jimmie Rivera, what's going on, my friend?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you for asking. So I saw you were working on a Lego project the other day. How did that go?
It's good. Which one was it?
I'm pretty sure it was the Office one. I think that's what I was looking at.
I actually bought that for my wife. She's a big fan of The Office, so she actually put it together. She finished it. And then I grew up playing with Legos just as a kid, and then it's kind of like a meditation / keeping my brain sharp. So I usually do one a month or one every other month. But since we had the quarantine, I've been doing like one every other week.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned she was working on that one. Did you do one by yourself by any chance?
Yeah, put together a couple of them. Since I've been in quarantine, the old school 1985 Batmobile. I've just finished the Tumbler. The new Batmobile, the Tumbler. I put the Coliseum together, and then There's something else I put together. I can't remember recently. I just don't remember what it was, like right in the beginning of the quarantine. Put something together. Okay. I don't know what it was, but I have a few more coming in. But it just kind of keeps my mind, like, meditates and keeps my mind sharp. Because, yeah, a lot of times, people, when they're, like, you're home now, and people just get lazy and they stop doing things. And that's
exactly
when you start to lose that sharpness, and you don't want to lose it. It's just like as you get older. When people get older, they start doing less, and that sharpness is not there. So you got to have something to do to keep you going, keep you sharp, I feel like. So I always, especially your brain, especially fighting and getting hit in the head. So I apologize. That's my dogs. They're looking for a toy. Okay. So I always do puzzles and stuff like that. Anything, just to keep me going.
Mm-hmm. Could you remember the longest puzzle you've actually handled with?
I don't know. No, I haven't done one in a long time because of the Legos, to be honest with you. Usually it's like do like Tetris or something like that, or Legos, or like kind of like puzzles on your phone, like fit in the box. But I'm actually waiting. My wife just bought like a big, how many pieces? Yeah, 1,000 piece puzzle.
1,000.
So we're gonna put that together, and yeah, I mean, it's just like when I mean puzzles too. Let me go back. Puzzles is just like anything doing to figure out a solution or put stuff together that are on your phone. Or you ever see that dot game where you have to connect the different colored dots without crossing them?
Yeah, probably, I know what you're on.
You're probably into how old are you?
15.
15. So Fortnite, is that what it is, or Call of Duty online?
Call of Duty more.
Call of Duty online. Yeah. I'm more of a. I have my 64 and my Super Nintendo still, so I still got like Mario Kart, Mario Party, and all that. So that's like, I like the old school games. But Call of Duty is lit too. I like that too. But I don't play it as much because I don't have it.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so when I was looking through to make some questions for you, I've seen you've unlocked some of your TP soccer skills with that toilet paper roll over the last few weeks. Was that something you were involved in, like soccer, of course, not toilet paper kicking, but were you involved in any soccer at all growing up?
No, I played a little bit of baseball growing up, and then I've been with Tiger Showman's since I was a kid. But so Tiger Showman is a real person. He's my coach. You see, Danny Showman. Okay. So his daughter plays professional soccer in Israel. So she did a little thing, and I tried juggling it, and I just failed epically. Like, I could throw it up and go a spinning crescent kick or a spinning hook kick. Like, that's easy. Just to throw it up and throw a kick or something like that, jump round kick, anything like that. But to juggle it like a soccer player, I tried a couple times before I did that video, and it was just an epic fail. I was just like, I probably will never be a soccer player.
I mean, you impressed me, so you're doing not too bad.
I don't know, man. I impressed you. I don't know if you know a lot of soccer players, though. Then I freaking hit it twice, and that was it. Went into the wall.
I used to play myself, so I don't know.
You're definitely better than me.
Anyways, yeah, you keep cutting out a little bit. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, you know what? Our internet's been really on and off lately. I don't know why.
Mine's the same way. So
I think it's just everybody staying home and on the internet using Wi-Fi. Like, even when you go on apps and stuff, like the app's updated, but it's just super slow.
Exactly.
Instagram, Facebook. I mean, I don't go on Facebook, but the Instagram sometimes is super slow. It doesn't load. Yeah, no one goes on Facebook anymore.
It's an old people thing. No offense.
Older. Yeah, I'm not that old yet. I'm not that old yet.
Okay.
People are older on Facebook all the time.
I see. All right. So most of the time, UFC fighters are some of the best dancers out there. Have you heard of this new Tuesday Slide song?
Is that what Paige Van Zandt did?
The Drake song. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
Oh no, the Drake song. No, I haven't heard.
No.
Of that. What's it called?
Oh man.
Tootsie?
Tuesday Slide. Kind of like Tootsie.
Slide? Is there a video to it too, or no?
There is. There's a whole dance with it.
You're gonna have to message me it so I could look it up, because I've been on my own little world in a way, like just doing things around the house and as much training as I can, and then we've been doing for our students our own 2 schools, one in Brooklyn and one in the city. So we've been doing a lot of online classes for our students. So the only thing I've been really watching is what's going on in the news with the economy and literally Tiger King. and everything on Netflix.
There you go. Yeah, I was asking your best impression on this Tuesday slide thing. If you want to go ahead, it's like a left foot up, right foot slide kind of thing.
I'm gonna have to look it up first, practice it, and probably send it to you because sometimes I got two left feet, so I'm not the best.
Okay, I see. Next time we'll get that. All right. So, what is the most bizarre thing you have been able to do during this whole quarantine thing?
Most bizarre thing I've done, or I don't even happen to me. I mean, probably the only thing not realizing that the distance, like we'll get online to Home Depot or Wegmans, and you have people like scream at you like back up, like move back, and I'm like more than 6 feet away from you, but I'm a little paranoid. Besides that, I think that's the most bizarre thing that happened to me. Anything bizarre I've done? Nothing, man. I mean, laziness. I mean, there was like 2 or 3 days in the past month where I just sat on the couch and just did nothing and watched Netflix. So I can tell you that.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah, I don't have anything bizarre. I mean, sometimes I'm with big kids, so I guess playing with Legos is kind of bizarre. But I've actually met a lot since then. I met a lot of people that actually still build, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I just like it. Kind of keeps me entertained, keeps me going." So I said, so I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. What are the grocery stores actually like in New Jersey? I know it's like down here in Canada. It's a little awkward, but what's it like over there?
It's just they only let certain people in at a time. You have to wear something to cover your mouth, whether it's a bandana or a mask or whatever it is. And then just long lines. That's it. You go in the grocery store, at least where I live, they have most of the stuff. There's like a little bit of different meats and stuff. They're out of stock. I didn't check today, but for a good couple of weeks they were out of TP and paper towels. I assume they have it back already because I don't know if you ever heard of them, Wegmans. So they're Wegmans that is by us like 15 minutes away. We're very brand loyal, love Wegmans. Okay. So they have their own brand of TP and paper towels and other stuff. So they sell other things, but they have their own brand and a lot of things. So they actually like when you go there, you see TP and it's like one per household with the TP and paper towels, which I mean. I think it's funny. People like stocked up on TP. I'm like, and some people like you see memes of them trying to return it, but I don't know why you need TP that much TP.
I know.
If you're a guy, most of the time the guys are like, they're gonna have baby wipes instead. I mean, at least I do. But everything's pretty much in stock for that. I mean, the one thing that's not in stock is flour.
Okay.
I'm sorry about the noise. My dog took.
No worries.
Dude, what are you doing?
Sounds like they're having the time of their life.
They had the best life ever. Hey, Duke's like 130 pounds, and he's only 1. And Harley's about 110 pounds, and she's going to be 2 soon. So they're big pups.
Little babies. Yeah.
They're babies, but big. They're my training partners for right now until we open back up.
I got my little fur babies over here sleeping.
What do you got?
I got Bichon Pomeranian, and I got myself, I don't know if you can see them, but 2 little puppies.
Good. I see them. Yeah. See, I had a chocolate lab growing up, but once I met my wife, she wanted big dogs. So, just big dogs
lucky.
Cost a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, so I lost track of what we were actually talking about, but
the last thing you were trying to ask me was like anything bizarre happened or
right.
I'm like, nah, nothing really bizarre. I mean, bizarre couple like just how people are acting lately, and no one, obviously no shaking hands, and people like giving you a hard time about the distance if you're too close. But besides that, it's really it.
Okay. And during these times, like you mentioned that, I'm pretty sure it was the beginning of this interview, mentioned you were doing your online training for Tiger Schmollman's thing. How's that going for you so far?
It's good. We did it so we have 48 locations on the East Coast.
Okay.
So every instructor and some assistant instructors like took a time and took a class. So we literally have about 9 to 10 classes a day that we did free for all the students. And then next month, and then from there, we're probably going to start doing some schools to their own schedule. So slowly we're going to go into like our own schedule at each school. But it's been going great. I teach in some classes during the week just to, keep my students and other students motivated and keep them training, and then kind of figure out where to go from there. We thought we'd be open in May, and we don't know when we'll be open. So we're taking the next step to figure out what we should do.
So is this something that's open to the public or specifically for the students?
Right now it's actually open to the public. So a lot of people could get in and train. We did it on purpose so people could get in and train and do something, especially if they're home and they don't have anything to do. So it's on the app Twitch, and then if you follow Tiger Showman's, and then we have a whole class schedule, and then the class is actually saved on it. So this way, if you miss a class time, you can go back and take it. And then from there, we'll probably, Twitch is okay, but we're looking into other things to do so we can actually interact with the students. Right now, we don't see any students. We only see comments. So it's not bad, but we want to be able to interact and correct students and help them a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've heard of the app Zoom. That works pretty well too. Or even Skype, you can do that too.
We're actually looking into Zoom and Skype, but probably more Zoom. So we're looking at a couple of things. So this way we can interact a little bit more. I think the toughest thing is when you have anywhere between 30 or 40 people in class, it's a little harder to see it. And you need like a big screen TV to see it. So we're just trying to figure out what's the best thing. But I've seen it. Some people we already been practicing and doing trial and error on Zoom. But Zoom is like the way probably we're going to go.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so while we're on this topic about training and everything, how have you been able to train yourself?
I've been just I'm not far from my headquarters. So I end up going there, clean whatever I use, whether it's a treadmill or the bag or some weights, and I just go and train, do a little bit, do what I can, and then clean up after myself and head back. So our headquarters is about 15, 20 minutes from where I live, so I'm able to go and train. But the toughest thing right now is that there's like, everybody's home and trying to keep social distance. So every time I go I'm by myself. So there's only so much you can do by yourself until you need like, someone to roll with, someone to drill with or kickbox with. So it's a slow process. So we're just, hopefully we can get back to doing something, but it's just going to take some time.
Of course. So one of the last questions I have for you that you can remember anyways, what is your craziest moment outside of the cage that has happened to you, to specifically you?
Craziest moment?
Like growing up or anything?
I mean, there's a moment, something I probably can't tell you. I don't want to be not disrespectful. I mean, like just being stupid as a young kid or young adult. Let's see, craziest moment. How about this? So, some people are super scared of heights. I'm always about facing fears and stuff like that. So I'm not super scared of heights, but I would always love like the idea of going skydiving. So I've been skydiving twice. The first time I did it, I got it recorded so I could like watch it over and over again. But when we're falling, the camera guy was making like I basically focused on the camera guy the whole time, and I didn't get to enjoy the fall. And I wanted to enjoy the fall and like be like falling and then hit it and just enjoy the view after they open up the parachute. So I actually went back twice. I went back a second time and did it. So that time I didn't get recorded. I just watched fall down, and it's just when you jump out of the plane, you're just like there's nothing to catch you, just falling. It's pretty sick. So that's what I did the second time. I mean, that's probably one of the. I mean, there's been plenty of stuff. One of the craziest things. Al Pacino, who's really cool. We started talking about boxing before one of my fights before I fought Almeida in Long Island. He was filming at the time. One of my good friends down and I met, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, is you're probably not into country music, but he's a country star, Brantley Gilbert. So we just met, started talking backstage, and then from there just kind of hit it off and talked. I was actually on his Instagram Live last Friday.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, he's a really cool, down there, nice guy. Like, I mean, I met some people in the back just in general before I got in the UFC. When my teammates were in the UFC, like Mickey Rourke, I met off the top of my head. I meet a lot of the fighters, and a lot of fighters are all cool. Like, you meet a lot of fighters and just really cool, nice guys and humble. Some people put on a scene, And then when the camera's not on, they're really cool, and then some people are just cool all the time. But they had nothing extremely crazy in the past year or two. I'm trying to be on my best behavior.
Of course. All right. So as we get near to the end of this, I want to give you the opportunity to thank anyone who's helped you along your journey so far.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Counter-Strike, Frey Benedetto, who's my PT and my cardio coach, and an Eat Clean Bro for the meals, and NutriBio for my supplements, and then Tiger Fight Gear for my gear, and then Tiger Showman's obviously for coaching. And then, you probably meet a lot of guys, and you start talking a lot of fighters, and some of them own a school or go into the school after they're done fighting. I mean, I've owned my school since I was like 22, 23. I'm around, and it's been the best experience of my life. Like, love teaching, love going in, being able to work and teach with young kids and adults. It's definitely really cool. So if you're ever in the city, come to my school, 34 East 23rd Street. Come by and take a class on me.
All right.
And that's it, man. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sounds good. Hopefully, that'll be sometime soon when all this is done and over with.
Yeah, probably, maybe a year from now.
Probably, yeah. Hopefully,
Yeah. So, cool, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so not going to let you go here yet. I know you like Tigers. What do you think about this whole Tiger King series?
Tiger, I mean, it's really crazy. I didn't know how big people are into exotic pets. And we just missed it. There was a whole nother thing coming out. I think it was on TMZ.
I saw that, yeah. Dana White shared that, actually. Yeah, I didn't watch it yet, but no.
Okay, so
I thought you watched it. Yeah. Come on.
No, I didn't watch it. I messed up the days. I thought it was on Tuesday, but it was on Monday.
I thought it was Monday, yeah.
It's just unique, and I think it's funny that people ask during this pandemic that Trump asked about Trump if he's going to pardon Joe Exotic. I'm like, I mean, that guy made himself famous asking him, but it was, the dumbest question. He was just like, he just basically shut it down. And I'm like, there's other problems than pardoning some guy that try to have someone killed right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's in jail for a reason. But it was a very unique show, I tell you that. Very unique and very interesting. And sometimes you can't believe there are people out there like that. And Carol Baskin can definitely kill their husband.
Perfect. That's all I needed to hear.
No problem.
All right. So like I said, awesome having you on, and hopefully we can do it sometime soon.
Sounds good, man. Good luck with your podcast and everything you're doing. All right?
All right. Jimmie Rivera. Peace.
Take care, man.